My name is Mandy Jenkins. I'm a board member and former president for the Online News Association, and I'm also a member of the ONA Governance Committee. Welcome to this year's Board Candidate Forum, where you'll hear from your fellow colleagues on why they want to be on the board of directors. I've been on the board for 8 years now, and in that time, the board and the awesome ONA staff have worked together to grow and adapt this organization to better serve members in this industry that always seems to be changing. And the people you elect this year are among those continuing that work. So today, I'm pleased to introduce our candidates for the 2021-22 Board of Directors. In this year's, we have Audience Development Lead at Graham Media Group, Dustin Block, Director of Audience at New York Times Opinion, Rubina Fillion, Chief Digital Content Officer at Hearst Television, Andrew Fitzgerald, Executive Director of the Rev Lab at the Texas Tribune, Rodney Gibbs, Social Media Strategist at Chalkbeat, Susan Gonzalez, Presenter at AJ Plus, Amaya Nabanga, Senior News Partnerships Manager at Twitter, Nikita Patel, Director of Strategic Initiatives at the Newmark J School at CUNY, Anita Zelina. Today we'll have the opportunity to hear from each candidate. In order to accommodate everyone's time zones, we've asked the candidates to pre-record their speeches, and some of them are also going to be joining us in the live chat. So without further ado, we'll begin with Dustin Block.
Hello, ONA. My name is Dustin Block. I'm Audience Development Lead for Graham Media Group. Graham is a local TV company. We have 7 stations in 4 states, Texas, Florida, Michigan, and Virginia. We're a bit of a boutique company, in the industry. We like to think that we're big enough to have some resources, but small enough to be really nimble, run a lot of experiments, connect, be really collaborative. Graham's kind of known for being really involved in the industry. Our leadership is, it serves in a number of industry groups. We're really active in groups like ONA, LMA, LMC, table stakes, programs like that. I work specifically for the Graham Digital team in Detroit. It's a group of engineers, developers, product people, sales, content, where we work right now in digital strategy for our stations, and then spend a lot of time thinking about the future of local media and how we're going to build a sustainable future for our stations. Specifically, I work on engagement. That is connecting our audiences and our stations and our newsrooms together to better serve communities, improve our journalism, come up with some new business models. A big project that we're working on right now is membership for broadcast, where we're trying to build membership programs for loyal and engaged users at our stations. So take our really big TV audience, move them down, our audience funnel into these kind of engaged states where we're finding value and frankly, we're just better service. A little bit about me. I'm from Wisconsin originally. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I studied journalism, worked at the Badger Herald. So if there's any Herald alums out there, hello. I went into newspapers after that, worked for Lee Enterprises, then did my own startup for a while, worked for AOL Patch during that period. And then after Patch, moved to Detroit to work for Advanced Local on their Detroit team. That led to WDIV TV and the NBC affiliate in Detroit and to the Graham Media team. I'm running for the ONA board, deepen their relationship to the benefit of all, to both. Graham has benefited immensely from ONA. Much of our digital strategy has come from the national conference and the people we have met there. Hark and Groundsource, Via Fora, a lot of our newsletter strategy, many of the consultants and the people that we turn to for guidance, we all met through ONA. Last year, our entire digital team attended the ONA conference, and I firmly believe that time together in New Orleans prepared the team for what's been a really difficult 2020 and helped us kind of rise to some of the challenges that have come forward. On the flip side, local TV has a lot to offer ONA. First, we're the preferred and trusted source of news in nearly every U.S. market, according to research. People turn to local TV. It's a really important part of local media ecosystems, yet I feel like it's underrepresented in ONA. for I imagine for different reasons. But I love to work on bridging that gap and bringing TV in because they are really good at serving their communities. Recording this video alone is proof to me about that some of the skill that local TV brings, which is simply being able to talk to people. That's a real challenge. And I think the important thing to remember is, we're all in this together, right? So local TV is, they're losing audience, they're losing advertisers, like a lot of local media. And we have to reimagine that future. We have to reinvent it. I think we can do this together. And I think working together between ONA and local broadcasters would make both stronger. The broadcast industry does not have a lot available right now for digital strategy, yet every local TV station that I know of is in need of digital strategy. So from a growth perspective and from an opportunity for ONA to really expand its resources, I think I think local TV would be a really smart move. As an ONA board member, I would work on that. That would be one of my approaches to help the organization. So I would love your vote.
Hi, I'm Rabina Madan-Filian. I'm the Director of Audience for the New York Times Opinion section and a proud ONA board member. I'm running for my second term this year, and I would be honored to have your vote. Being an active ONA member has been one of the most rewarding aspects of my career. In addition to serving on the national board, I've been a co-organizer for ONA's New York chapter for the past 5 years, helping to plan dozens of events for the 2,700 ONA members in the tri-state area. I was also part of the 2017 cohort of ONA's Women's Leadership Accelerator, a life-changing experience that introduced me to some of the most inspiring women working in journalism today. I'm so thankful for what ONA has given me, and so I've worked to give back to the community. This year, I served as a vice chair for the Online Journalism Awards, helping to ensure that the first completely virtual award season was a success. As a board member, I've been dedicated to ensuring that members of all levels, from college students to executive directors, find value in ONA's community and training programs. Throughout my career, I've worked towards improving diversity and inclusion in newsrooms. In my previous role at The Intercept, I co-launched and ran a fellowship program dedicated to cross-training recent journalism grads in both digital and investigative journalism skills. The young journalists who went through that program, many of them were women of color like me, and I took pride in mentoring them and preparing them for their journalism careers. At both The Times and The Intercept, I've taken an active role in recruiting and shaping newsroom culture, so we're not just hiring more journalists of color, but retaining and promoting them as well. I'm grateful to the newsroom leaders who helped me succeed in my career, and I constantly try to pay it forward by helping other young journalists succeed. Currently, I represent opinion in the Times' company-wide DEI committee and serve on the policy committee of the Times' Women's Network. If I'm re-elected to the ONA board, I want to continue doing the work of improving newsroom culture from within and tackling some of the key challenges our industry is facing. Right now, in the midst of this pandemic, that includes helping journalists avoid burnout, improve their mental health, and keep their careers from being derailed by job losses and other setbacks. I care immensely about the future of our industry. I hope that you agree that as a board member, I would help move us in the right direction. And that's why I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Andrew Fitzgerald, and I'm running for the ONA board. I'm the Chief Digital Content Officer at Hearst Television. We're a local broadcaster in 26 markets around the US. And my job is thinking about digital content. What are we doing on the web? What are we doing on social? And working with local journalists across all of our newsrooms to think about transforming our news product to be even more native to digital platforms. I care deeply about storytelling, different formats of storytelling. I care deeply about increasing diversity in our newsrooms, and of course, making our businesses more sustainable, which I think is one of the most pressing challenges in digital journalism today. I'm excited to run for the ONA board. I've been coming to ONA just about every year since 2009 in San Francisco. I've gotten so much out of the organization. Wisdom, contacts, laughs, many laughs. And I want to give back. I think it's a good time for me to share my expertise and things I've learned along the way. Be able to share in some small way with the organization, and I hope to do that through the ONA board. I am particularly interested in how local journalists and local broadcast journalists can be a bigger part of the ONA organization. I think local journalism is one of the most important pieces of our industry. It was a big part of why I moved into local a few years ago. I think that there's a really crucial mission to be done connecting directly to communities, especially in the US, but across the world. And so I would hope to ask for your vote on the board to help represent the interests of local journalists, particularly local broadcast journalists. I think in US markets, the broadcast industry still is producing an extraordinary amount of journalism. And I think that in what are sometimes sort of tight newsrooms where you have a small number of digital staff, the connection to an organization like ONA is really crucial for local journalists. And as digital journalists in local newsrooms around the US are working to transform their newsrooms to bring them into the future, this is access to ONA is an extraordinary resource for them. One of the questions around running for the board is, what do I think is an incredibly pressing issue for our industry? And there are many, but I think the one that I have been most focused on and the one that I have chosen to tackle directly is the business. How sustainable can the business of journalism be? And I think that for ONA as an organization, there is a lot to be done in terms of knowledge sharing and support across our industry to help people who are trying to transform business models in the same way that digital journalists have been transforming formats of storytelling, coming up with creative new ways to share information, inform our viewers and inform our readers. I think that same creative energy can now be applied to tackling the sustainability of the business. And so that's, I think, obviously a very pressing issue for us, and something that I hope, being a member of the ONA board, I can help to bring more content and programming and focus on that issue into ONA. That's it for me. I'm Andrew Fitzgerald. Love to have your vote, and thank you so much for the time. Bye.
Hi, I'm Rodney Gibbs. I'm with the Texas Tribune, and I'm a candidate for the ONA board. I joined the Tribune about 8 years ago. It was a small startup then, really. It was about 25 people. And I ran product for about 7 years. It's grown quite a bit since then. This year, I switched jobs at the Trib. We started a new thing called Revenue Lab, which is a research and training center that we take some lessons we've learned over a decade at the Tribune, along with best practices around the country in how news orgs generate revenue. And we help other organizations, big and small, news startups, established legacy papers, everything in between, improve their revenue generating capabilities through training and research. It's a lot of fun. And it kind of reflects, I think, kind of the reason I got into ONA to begin with, and which is why I'm running for the board, honestly. I'm what some of us call a zigzagger. I started my career in public affairs TV, But that led me in some meandering paths into software and game development, into television production, and then to starting my own app companies, doing mobile apps for news orgs, which led me back into the Tribune, kind of full circle into news. And ONA, I feel like, reflects and embraces people who come from all sorts of directions like that. People who knew they wanted to be a journalist from the time they were 12 years old, to mid-career people who switch into it, to people who have, kind of zigzaggy, meandering paths through maybe technology or fundraising or different avenues. But we all find ourselves together.
Hi there. My name is Susan Gonzalez. I'm the social media strategist at Chalkbeat, the largest nonprofit news network covering inequities in education at the local and national levels. I'm running for the Online News Association's Board of Directors, and I'd like to tell you why. Underserved populations are what inspired me to become a journalist. The marginalized communities who have been mistreated and overlooked by media in favor of what wider, wealthier audiences want. These are also the very same populations we fail to adequately represent on our newsroom staffs, an issue that has profoundly hurt our relationship with audiences and made our news coverage incomplete, to say the least. We are witnessing in real time the effects of an unhealthy democracy, a fractured media landscape, and a widespread mistrust of news and technology. These things have coalesced into confusion and pain for our readers, our colleagues, and our media outlets. If you work in news or digital media, you know these things. You know what's at stake and you know what problems exist. I'm running for the board of directors because I see these things and I want to work with more of you to find solutions. In my work, I'm deeply focused on education and its many inequities. Specifically, I focus on highlighting youth voices and engaging readers on social media. Both of these things are crucial to the future of journalism, and I think we could do a better job on both fronts. When I'm not working for Chalkbeat, I help run the ONA local group for the Rocky Mountain region. Through our chapter, I've helped our local news community with trainings, resources, and networking. And most recently, I've been part of a working group in collaboration with other Colorado media organizations to address the problems we have with hiring and retaining people of color. I'm also in the middle of creating a channel for Colorado news outlets to use on election night as an extra layer of security and support for our local news reporters who are severely understaffed and often lack the resources necessary to do their jobs. I'm also mentoring younger journalists on how to navigate this field, how to negotiate a living wage, how to push back against authority when they're wrong, and how to take care of their mental health. These are potential issues they might encounter, but they're never taught how to deal with these things that are so vital to their success in this difficult career. There's a lot wrong right now. You can see it every day. In our news, in the streets, in our systems, in the places we turn to for protection and joy. The newsroom has always been my space, my home, my source of joy, my system. In 2020, I see the flaws so clearly, but I also see solutions. I see a way forward for us. I see ways we can make our newsrooms much more diverse, our local news outlets much more supported and robust, and our relationships with readers so much more healthy and productive. Right now, everyone is seeking the same thing, help. If you vote for me, Susan Gonzalez, for the ONA Board of Directors, you're voting for the daughter of a migrant farm worker and a man who grew up so poor he couldn't afford his first bed until he married my mom. I know what it is to need help. Where I'm from, people need a lot of help. Now I'm in a position to provide it, and I'd love to do it through ONA. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Imani Vanga, and I'm a presenter and senior producer with AJ Plus, the digital video arm of Al Jazeera, and I am seeking your vote for re-election to the ONA Board of Directors. I have said this a million times, and I will say it a bajillion more for all of my journalism days. ONA fundamentally changed my life and my career. And that is why I want to continue to do the good work for an organization that has given so much to me, so that I can give to it and help it give so much to all of you. In my time on the board, we've seen the organization change so much, and for the better. Not only has it become more inclusive in terms of its representation on the board and also within the organization, but also we help create a strategic plan so that ONA can continue to thrive even in the most trying of times. And little did we know those trying times would come so soon when we were setting up that strategic plan. Right now, all of us, our industry, sit at the intersection of so many things that affect us. So many things. There's the pandemic where we have to worry about how we do our job and do it safely. There are also challenges to press freedoms, which predate this year and this pandemic, but that the pandemic has helped exploit. And then we have the ongoing challenges for which we've been talking about for years in our industry about how to better serve our communities and our audiences, including making sure our content, our writing, our videos, our stories, our slideshows, and everything we do is more inclusive and diverse. These are the things that I think are important and that should be at the forefront of every conversation. And I would love to have that conversation with you. I also want to focus on the youngest people in our industry who are coming into our industry at a time when, quite frankly, everything's kind of up in the air. Right now, we also have people who have been working who have lost their jobs because of the pandemic. And we want to help see them continue to stay in this career and help get them resituated. These are the things that are most important to me. These are the things that I'm bringing to ONA. And I would love to have your support in this. I hope that you all are safe. I hope that you are well, and I hope that you vote this October. Thank you so much for your time, and be well. Also, Team Kitty Cat for those who like pets.
Hi there, this is Nikita Patel, and I oversee news partnerships at Twitter here in the US. I'm currently on ONA's board of directors and co-chair of the OJA Awards Committee. I'm running for a second term on ONA's board of directors since I would like to continue to collaborate with the amazing team and board when it comes to implementing ONA's strategic plan. Over the last 2 years, it's been so great to see ONA roll out new initiatives and partnerships and to hire more staff, all with an eye towards supporting digital journalism. I am so passionate about ONA since it's been so invaluable to my career. As ONA has grown over the years, so has my career too. I became a member back in 2004. This really helped me connect with other digital journalists at that time. I then went on to become a co-organizer for the NYC local group back in 2010 and helped reinvigorate that chapter by hosting local meetups. I've also been invited to host training sessions at ONA Camp and at the Gen Summit on behalf of ONA. ONA's mission is much like my own, which is to inspire and support innovation and excellence in digital journalism. I'm just getting started on the board, so vote for me so that I can continue to serve ONA and to serve you. Thank you so much.
Hey ONA members, my name is Anita Zilina, and I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY in New York City. Today, I'd like to ask for your support to become a member of the ONA Board of Directors. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what this organization means for me and what I hope to give back in this role to ONA and to all ONA members. I'll talk about 3 things that I'm deeply passionate about and that I think are super important for the future of journalism, but also important for ONA itself. Let's start with the first one, internationalization. As you can hear, I'm not American by birth, although I speak to you from my apartment in Brooklyn here now. I was born in Austria, a country that doesn't have a relevant media innovation scene to speak of. The first years working as a journalist in the digital space in Austria felt pretty lonely, and I didn't have that many people to talk to share best practices, to learn from, to look up to connect and to bond over media innovation topics. I vividly remember my first ONA that I visited in 2011. I had just started my night fellowship at Stanford, and I was overwhelmed by the feeling of camaraderie, inspiration, and innovation when I first met ONA and encountered people at ONA. I want more people all over the world to have this opportunity to connect with media innovation and with like-minded people. I want more people from the Americas, more people from Europe, more people from Africa and Asia to be able to become part of the ONA community, because I strongly feel that becoming more international and that profiting and learning from each other is such a huge and underused opportunity. Second, a topic that I dedicate a lot of my time to and that I work on mainly at Newmark J School, where I run an executive program for media leaders and develop other programs for people in leadership roles in media organizations. The second topic is really diversifying and changing leadership and management in media organizations. I do think we all agree that we see the urgency to change what we define as good leadership in media organizations. There is an urgency to finally work on diversifying the ranks of leaders in media organizations. And it's a topic that has a lot to do with culture change. A culture change that I was tasked with in many of the managerial roles I had in media organizations in Europe. I was usually the person driving the change and being hired to basically bring us into the digital future. I want to do a better job in educating these people in leadership roles and to changing the ranks of media leadership in our current organizations. And I do feel ONA already does play a big part in that, but could play an even bigger part. And third, I do see a new generation of media people emerge that don't fit in the old boxes that we designed. People that work at these intersections between product, editorial, business, strategy, and technology. And I want ONA to become a home for these people, a home for people like me who constantly have a hard time explaining to their parents what job exactly they are doing, because the jobs we are doing, frankly, haven't existed a few years ago. I do feel that ONA is a fantastic institution that already addresses and invites a lot of these people in, but I also see opportunities to expand the programming around new business models, expand the programming around product thinking and product management, expand the programming around strategy and digital innovation on the business side and the product side of news media. So that is something that I also hope to bring with my many years of experience on the managerial side, developing new products and new business models in media organizations. Thank you for listening to this, and I really hope to get your vote in this election.
Hello, my name is Ebony Reed, and I am a board member for the Online News Association. I am also on ONA's governance committee. I am in my second year of board service and the new audiences chief at the Wall Street Journal as well. Being on the board has given me the opportunity to think holistically with colleagues about the direction of ONA so it can be of the most service and relevance to its members. I would like to thank and congratulate all the candidates for their commitment to the journalism community. I hope all attendees learned something today as well. As a reminder, voting is now open, and you can do so by logging into the ONA member portal. And once you are there, you will find your unique election passcode. You have until October 30th to vote. Thank you for joining us.